All right, folks, all right. There is no denying the significant improvement between episodes 1 and 2. She informed us that this time would be different as soon as she entered the gate. At the start of the show, she demonstrated to us, "I'm not here to plex with Flip. Ice and I are not here to flex. Iz and I are not here to plex. I was merely expressing my opinions." It also demonstrates that she will pay attention to Joe's counsel and apply it moving forward if they have a behind-the-scenes conversation. Early on, she demonstrated that she wasn't a dog pile and that she could handle the jokes. She was joining in on the jokes while they were talking about her wig. In the past, she was contributing to the jokes when they called her large. And a special thanks to Mona, she looked good in the episode today. Although I'm sure you all already know how I felt about her, she's looked amazing today. I must thus ensure that I continue to offer her the same credit. She's taken the fat jokes, though. She's taken the jokes about the wig. She is handling everything calmly. She is accepting the audience's constructive criticism because many of them made comments about how much she was using her phone, even though she wasn't. But later in the program, I have a comment to make about that. What does that signify for all those who are up there? Everyone up there will perform better and be more open to the constructive feedback that Joe and the other co-hosts up there provide them if the recruit can come up there, take constructive criticism, and improve everyone's pod. However, we must give her a lot of credit. This significant turnaround was not what I had anticipated. She asked them a few questions today in case you missed it, but I assumed she was going to keep challenging Flip and Ice. I would like your opinion. Since it's beginning to stand out when Mark is preparing to segue, she's performing what Mark does on a much more subdued level. That's Mark's segue, by the way. However, before moving on, Mona interrupted and sought Ice and Flip's opinions on 2 occasions today, when Joe wanted to shift the subject, or Mark was attempting to go on to something else. That is significant. Let's go back to where I started by claiming that Flip and Mona demonstrated their friendship. They made the little heart motion with their hand, and I thought, oh, that's cute. She also appeared to be smiling at him sincerely. I thought to myself, look at me overanalyzing how they act with each other. That's adorable, eh? Flip, however, returned to his baggage. I want to provide a brief overview of this, but I'm sure I'll devote a movie to discussing Flip's actions in detail. He sensed a change in Mona's energy, and today's episode also featured some lingering traces of Flip. Furthermore, getting the most passionate person to speak about someone who isn't even there doesn't help your argument, Flip. It's hilarious that so many people keep referring to her as a ghost, but you already know who we're referring to. Additionally, you had 2 outbursts today about items that were either references to Mel or that you knew were connected to events in Melissa's life. That's an odd position to take, sir, particularly when Mona was providing you enough rhythm to distract you from Med. And I noticed you contributing, and I'm seeing you contribute more, because I felt your question
about how musicians feel about being featured on someone else's album was a good one for one of the themes today. Either the song's placement, the album's placement, or the album's sequencing, such as whether I'm number 2 or 12. That was a good question in my opinion. I enjoy looking at Flip. However, a lot of that resulted from your lack of concern that Mona would jump your ass and your retaliation while she was taking the jokes. The way it operates is amusing. However, this was a significant change. Mark and Joe are obviously going through a difficult time. The last time, it kind of woke it up. Furthermore, it amuses me that Marcus's responses to everyone regarding these aren't comments against Melissa Ford. By even addressing and acknowledging us in the first place, you are merely giving credence to those who claim that these are shots at Melissa Ford. I keep telling you that the more you talk to us about things you are not attempting to talk about, the more you give these subjects and our beliefs greater legitimacy, fire, and light. Instead of being merely conjecture, it now has substance. Just so you know, but I'm sure he is aware of it. Additionally, Mark excels at appealing to the audience and crowd for the benefit of the performance. I don't want to give the impression that Mark is inexperienced, but hurry up, G. You were aware of what you were doing. You were aware of what you were doing. Engaging in a game. I feel ecstatic about what I'm going to say. I feel like a bird. However, I'm confident that if I see it, someone else will as well. Joe, stop Mona. You all need to relax. People used to constantly talk about me, particularly how touchy-feely Joe was with Melissa Ford. You two appear very at ease, and it's getting off to a really early start. Normally, I would be the one to contact Joe with this, but I see your tricks, baby. Mona, I know what you're doing. I see it. I think you rely on Joe's lap a bit too much in this episode. He was using his laptop to look up something, and I caught a glimpse of you in the picture with your head leaned directly over, like, oh Lord. Once more, if my bird ass can see this, just think of the person Joe values more who can see this as well. Wink, wink. Therefore, you all need to relax. Or there will be a problem that is occurring behind the scenes and that none of the co-hosts are aware of, but everyone is aware of what is happening. And since the show's dynamic is so obvious, I don't want any of you to spoil it. The addition of Mona was fantastic. Additionally, I see a lot of people saying in the comments, oh, she still talks too much. Which one are you interested in? Are you looking for someone who can find the middle between talking too much and not talking at all? Getting someone who talks too much to stop talking is easier than getting someone who doesn't talk at all to start talking more. And furthermore, I'm not claiming Melissa didn't talk. I'm not attempting to make a comparison between the two. I just don't want the replacement to remain silent. Just to get them to talk, we're trying to press buttons over here. And they want to talk about all the things that are happening up there. However, this video isn't devoted to Melissa. Good goodness, they're letting it fly, so you guys need to weigh in later today to get that one. A shout out to you, Mona. People are already aware of you. The audience is already aware of it. Everyone treated you differently in the first episode because they sense the hostility flowing from you, and the co-hosts have already noticed this. However, because you altered your strategy, they did the same.
Additionally, this was one of the better episodes I've watched in a while. In a very long time, in terms of the cohesiveness, chemistry, etc. Hopefully, I will be able to carry on like that in the future. The episode was good, however, please let me know in the comments. I might be bothering you. You already know how biased I am towards Mona, but because that's seasonal, I won't mention sophomore. What do you guys think she did, though, for a second episode? Do you all believe that there has been a significant improvement? Do you believe she stayed somewhat impartial? Are you all against Mona appearing on the show? Do you guys believe that she is hated by everyone else up there? What do you think Mona and Flip's reactions were to the video that was directed at them during Mona's previous appearance? Please share your thoughts in the comment area. You guys have been showing up, man. I can't truly complain to you all. You have been fulfilling your obligations exactly. I should be making the most of all this momentum, but I'm not your lad over here on this end. I'm the one who does it, but it's just one dumb thing that irritates me. Every time I begin to succeed at something, I start to falter. It seems as though success has peaked, and I don't want to see any more. I therefore withdrew, rather than go on with my 2 or 3 video day drops. I must therefore return to it, because you are all showing up like crazy. I appreciate all of your support. As always though, if you enjoy the video, please like it, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the page. You already know how we're rolling if you have. You are aware of our destination. We're simply going to keep sending. I am grateful to all of you. I'll be seeing you all shortly. Oh, feel free to tap into that Pandora before I sign off. Additionally, you have been displaying your ass up there. Amani deserves special recognition. On that Patreon, I see their numbers. You surprised me, boy. Although I didn't anticipate you would launch in that manner, you are still producing content and hitting metrics. So kudos to Armani. In any case, sign up for the Patreon at patreon.com/elevation. Drop every day. It's damn close over there. I'll be skipping days like a hoe, so let me stop saying daily as if it were only a security measure. However, an upload will be made there. Press in. See you all later. Calm.